So the lessons, I think, from the panel, which is, and the ULI panels tend to be either 3 days long or 5 days long. There's particular pressure on a 3-day panel. There just is, it's very compressed time. And there's a wonderful array of talent and experience here, so we have to figure all of us together. How are we going to harness all this information and come out of it with something that's workable? So I made a few notes this afternoon about some of the lessons that I took from my experience on panels. First of all, there's no bad ideas, at least not in the beginning. Some may fall to the side, but we want to have all of your ideas as broad in range as they can be. Teamwork is absolutely essential. We need to build on each other's skills and experience. And we need to integrate the experience of the specialties that are represented here, the multidisciplinary array that's present in this formation. My experience is that we need to get to a strategic agreement on what it is we're trying to do by not later than tomorrow night, Monday night. And it sounds like it's awfully fast, but we can get there. And that leaves us 2 days then to refine, polish, and be able to work on some of the details. Something like this, we can make it as big or as little as you want. You can dial it up or you can dial it down. We can talk about focusing on the aquifers, or we can think big. Mexico's about to celebrate 100 and 200-year anniversary of the revolution and independence. Why not start the next 100 years with caretaking for the earth in Mexico? And it starts here. So it can be as big or as little as you want it to be. We can push ideas into the system or we can pull them in. And my experience is that the former doesn't work very well. To force change from the outside and push it in, we've got to figure out a way that we can pull these great ideas in from the inside, so that so everybody takes ownership, and not just this group, but the municipality, the state, the federation. And because it's a UNESCO city, there's an opportunity here for an international thrust to it. In the end, it's always about people, because we have to be thinking about people and what motivates them. And the motivations don't have to be the same to get the right thing done. And so some are going to be motivated by green. I come from Portland, which has one of the pioneering regional systems for sustainability. It's probably one of the greenest cities in America. I've been very much involved in that process. From the outside, it looks like it's working perfectly. I can tell you everything that's wrong with it and right with it. But it is a good model if you wanted to talk about that as a template. I always say gravity is always at work, whether we're talking about apples or arguments, and we can be talking about the big picture and then arguing over how many hours on the parking meter like that. So part of the job is of the team is to continually keep the big picture alive. As a strategist, somebody has to be the guardian of the vision. The details will want to take us there. And in listening to the conversation earlier when we're talking about water and the seriousness of the aquifers and so on, I think we're going to want both. I think we're going to want the big picture, and I think we're going to want to illustrate some of the more pressing problems that are facing us today and facing us in the future. When I'm looking at a problem holistically, I try to look at the barriers that can possibly stop us from going forward, and for convenience, I put them into 5 families: physical, market, financial, regulatory, and political. And having to do with the land, whether it's public or private, whether it's a subdivision or it's an entire country. We seem to be able to park all of our issues in those 5 categories. We can't do a lot of studies in 3 days, so part of what we're going to have to do is identify some of the technical work that has to be done afterwards, because this is a beginning, not an end. And in 3 days, we need a strategy, and as I say, it's very easy to solve the wrong problem. So we're going to be struggling with what it is that we're trying to accomplish for the next 24 hours. And even after that, as we begin to refine. Did you mention about talking to the media? Did you say anything about that? It's really important with a panel like this that one person speaks to the media and one person only, because the problem is that if everybody speaks, we're going to get a mixed message out there. And we were talking earlier, how do you engage the public, or how do you engage the audience? We have to define what the audience is. Is it the elected officials at the federal level? Is it the local officials? Is it the state officials? Is it the people who are building subdivisions? All of those are audiences, and they each have to be dealt with somewhat differently. So we have to work that out.